Hey guys, what's going on? Doing the update for Jeff Bishop's Bullseye trades this week. And so it was another great week. Unfortunately, I didn't get an entry, but I know a lot of people did and did really well with it this week. So it was a 100% winner depending on how you entered, and we can talk through the actual trade in a sec. For you guys that are new to Jeff Bishop Bullseye trades, if you haven't checked out my full review, you'll find a link in the description below. This is it right here. I've kept track of every trade for over a year now, list of trades for 2022, and we're now into 2023. We've had 3 or 4 different trades, I think, maybe 4. And so we hit a losing streak, so there was like 3 losses in a row, and then last week didn't enter this one, which was the first time nobody's actually really got an entry. So last week wasn't really an entry. Cap before that was 100% win roughly, and then a few losing trades. And so I know a lot of people that joined in November when we were on this really nice winning streak. You know, I was getting people to join, everybody was excited about these videos and joining and making money. And as soon as everybody joined for Black Friday, they immediately launched into three losers in a row. And so my hope here is that most people didn't just quit and decide that this service was a scam or not any good or whatever, because if you look through all the records for the year on this blog post, you'll see that the vast majority of the time there's decent winners in this service. And obviously you're going to hit spells where you take losing trades for a while. And honestly, 3 losses in a row is not that bad, as long as you're positioning properly as well. And some of these actually I know people held, like Jeff held this one and actually recovered for him. This is BTU, and I know a few people that did the same thing. So these results are just results that happen throughout the week. So these things can change if you keep holding them, obviously. So I'm just recording what happens from Monday to Friday kind of thing. Anyway, let's get into this last week's trade. It was SPLK. Here's what got sent out. The trade details are up the top here. It's reiterated down below with a little bit of due diligence in between. And so sometimes he talks about his Bullseye Unlimited service, which is like 3 of these a day, which is awful, kind of overkill for me. Anyway, he puts a little bit of due diligence here. Last week was a choppy one for the market. It was no different for his EMPH. So that was talking about last week's trade that we didn't really get into. Blah, blah, blah. It gets down to the 11 a.m. Eastern trading. This is good because a lot of people, they think he's just like throwing darts, but when you listen to this whole due diligence for like an hour, you'll realize there's a lot of thought and research that goes into these trades, and so that can help people have confidence in them rather than just thinking he's pulling these out of thin air. And so here's a little bit of the diligence. He's saying that SPLK has been on a rebound after strong earnings in November. In this chart from Zach's research, you'll see that earnings are expected to rebound sharply, and so he includes those plots. Market has been bidding up the stock on dips ever since earnings, and I think it will continue. SPLK is now within striking distance of the 200 moving average, which is where I'll put my first target near 95 if it gets there, and it did. And then $100 above that for the second goal. If I'm wrong, I want to use the relatively tight stop of $85 on the stock. You also notice that I'm aiming for options that have longer expiration than usual, and I'm looking to go out of the money on this trade. That is because I might need to hold this trade for longer than a week. And so a lot of people get upset about this. They're like, well, what's he doing? Is he going to hold it? Is he not? And they get kind of grumpy about it. And so the thing with this service is it's only $99 for a year. And so you're not going to get hand-holding through every single day on every single minute movement of the stock. And I think the people that do best with Bullseye trades are the ones that can look at this and then make up their own mind. So it's like due diligence done for you, but then you have to manage the trade on your own. However, there are ways to get help with this. One is in my Facebook group. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you're a member, you can kind of talk to other members in there. And the other one is they actually do some comments and things in the dashboard here. So you can see below here there's a bunch of comments, and this week went really well. People are saying 100% banger. Jeff got out here, talks about getting filled. I've noticed there seems to be a skepticism developing around, and maybe it's just a consequence of a lot of people joining, so you get more and more opinions, but a lot of people questioning Jeff's integrity with the trades and things. But honestly, I've never found him to be anything but extremely honest and open about stuff. People were saying, I thought he got in at 280. But the truth here is he put a limit order in for 280 and the stock gapped down overnight, and I'll show you that in the charts. And so he got filled at 253 and people were like, oh, he's scamming or something. And that's just not the truth. I mean, this is obviously what happened. So he even includes a screenshot in his recent email, I can show you that too, to kind of keep people like from understanding here that these trades are, like they're just legitimate trades. Anyway, let's get into the actual idea for today. So here it is right here. SPLK, February 17th, $95 calls near $3. Close below 85 is the stop and the target is 95. We go to the chart here. This is Monday on the left, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The people that got in here right at the open did pretty well. The people that waited until here did better. I think Jeff got in that gap down that I was telling you about. He put in an order for 280 on the contracts, and of course it opened down here and filled at like 250. And then he had a really great run for 100% win on the options right up to here, which was awesome. So this idea of waiting until you get a nice dip still plays off. This week it was a bit later, so I generally am not going to buy on a Wednesday, so this was Wednesday. Usually I'm looking for a dip on the Tuesday and then sell on the Thursday or Friday. In this case the dip was a bit delayed, so the people that got in at the open actually made money this time compared to normal. Often you'll see the open really doesn't work that well, but in this case occasionally it does, and so it did here. People were getting in around here, but you were able to get a lower price over here. So I know people that bought in here, and I know people that bought here, and the rest of us just kind of missed the trade. Either way, even if you'd bought here, you'd have still been okay by Friday, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, let's look at the options for SPLK. I think it was February 17th. Here are the options. So I go down to here. And then let's look at let's go back to here. So it was the $95 calls near $3. So we go to $95 calls here. And so send those to the chart like usual. So then we're plotting the options contracts as a function of time with Monday on the left here. And so you can see opening around 340-ish. This is a little high, which is why I held off, because often you'll see them taper off down and you'll get in closer to his price or below. And so some people were okay with that. They were like, okay, 311, 320, I can deal with that. So they were getting in. And then a lot of people were taking this move up to 457. So that's a hell of a move, right? That's 50% up to here. But the people that really made the money were the people that waited until the Wednesday morning with this gap down. And you can see it gap down to the 250s, which is where Jeff got his fill because he'd placed a limit order for 280 the day before, and it filled down here. So really, there's nothing being hidden here. This is actually what happened. I saw people were speculating about how he was lying about being on a plane and stuff. It's just a load of nonsense, in my opinion. So anyway, 250 down here was where Jeff got filled, and this thing ran all the way up on Thursday to the 5s, up to here, and 5 on Friday. And so that's a pretty amazing 100% win. So as long as you're careful with these, even if you'd got in at the open, like there's always some people that get in at the open, and sometimes it pays, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it would have paid anyway. It would have got about $3.30 all the way up to like 5. So you'd have still made money even if you chased on Monday, which is not always the case. Sometimes it's best to hold off. And so you'd have struggled to actually lose money on this unless you freaked out on this dip. But remember, on the stock, on SPLK, it still didn't actually stop out. So the stop out would have been 85, a close beneath 85, which is a way down here. So if you bought here and you're freaking out on this dip, then you're still not really following the rules at all, right? So like 85's down here. And so that's not really Jeff's fault, It's kind of how you manage your own trade. And if in doubt, the Facebook group usually talks about these things. A lot of people were making money. And you can also check here, you can see what people are thinking. And I think Jeff has been as transparent as possible, saying he's been traveling, I barely missed his exit, see what happens, 50% profit, blah, blah, blah. So you can go through it and it's all laid out for you. People will ask him questions and he'll answer. And I really don't see any reason to think that he's lying or misleading or not being transparent in any way whatsoever. He's very open about stuff. Alright, well hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.